Hey everybody. It's just me. I'm sorry to disappoint. We are going to go ahead and get started. I received a phone call today that the fire department was not able to come out to provide this presentation for us. So I have listened to them provide it multiple times because we go around to 55 plus communities together. And so I've heard Glenn and Tony do their part, so I'm going to do my best to put on my fireman cap, and I will provide the presentation for you. Following the presentation, we do want you to stick around for the learning lab, okay? I know Marlene's kind of given you a hint as to what that's about, but...
I haven't. I won't talk about the looking fireman.
You haven't? Yeah, it's quite loud in here. There we go. Much better. Wow. So this is the Slips, Trips, and Falls presentation that the Wake Forest Fire Department developed alongside of me to go out to the 55 plus communities and talk about fall prevention. Oops, why isn't it going? Let's try that. There we go. So these are the gentlemen that we're going to be out here today. And unfortunately, we do not get to introduce you to them, but this is Glenn Ebron and Tony Lamberti, or Anthony Lamberti. Great.
Putting out a fire?
They both have family things. So, but great guys, very eager to help their community in any way possible. I know that a lot of you know that firemen are often volunteers. Well, these guys volunteer their time on their off days to do this fall prevention talk with me. So great people. The reason why, and if you don't mind silencing your cell phones, the reason why we are going around and doing this is because they get an extraordinary number of calls about falls. So the fire department gets the call. It's either a medical alert button that went off or an actual, somebody called and said, I have fallen. So they've collected data in 2024, and 351 plus calls were for fall-related incidents. And they say plus, yes, Wake Forest, the service area that Wake Forest Fire Department serves. This is how many calls that they received. And they say plus because a lot of times some of the calls that come in are, again, medical alert buttons that were activated, and they go underneath of that category instead of falls. So there were 320 medical alert activations. So this is this service area that they have the 351 fall-related calls where they were received, and you can see that area up there. It's right here in Wake Forest, Rollsville, up towards Youngsville, and then this is the medical alarm activations, and citizen assist calls are also often fall-related. So those are kind of more spread out. Let's see. Oops, wrong thing. So why do they want to do this? Because they want to try to help the community to prevent falls in the first place. They don't mind coming out and helping you get up off of the floor if you need their assist. But they do want to try to help people prevent them in the first place. So some of the common concerns that they have seen are among those that are, they have limited mobility. So a lot of the calls come from homes where people are already using assistive devices to move around. Or they're living alone and they don't have somebody there that can assist them with getting up off of the floor. A lot of them have had chronic medical conditions, so they might have multiple medications that are causing side effects that are also putting them at an increased risk for falls. So some of the solutions, when you call 911 or you hit the button, the medical alert button, it goes to a dispatch center, and then they determine what needs to happen. Oftentimes the fire department is the first to reach the scene because the EMS, if you're not aware, they're transporting people to the hospital, waiting for them to get admitted or into the ED, doing the paperwork. And so they're not as regularly available as the fire department is. So they come to the scene, they know their stuff, they know how to help assess the situation and the medical condition and decide whether or not you need the EMS to arrive on the scene and take you to the hospital. But the call comes in, the dispatch decides where you're going from there, if the fire department's coming out or if you need directly the EMS, and it takes a little bit. So you call that number, make sure that you're ready to wait just a little bit before they arrive. So again, when we fall and we think, oh, let me just wait here and see if I can get up, that's again delaying the EMS or the fire department coming out to help you. So another thing that they have in their toolbox of sorts is called the Knox box. And it's a device that you can order for your home. Now this is for a single family home or a townhouse where you have a direct access into your home. So not necessarily a senior apartment complex, although some of them have them on the building already. So the Knox box is a secure box that is on your home. They put it on your home, they attach it to your home really securely, and there is a key inside of the box that goes to your house. So why do you think that would be important for the fire department?
So they don't have to break down your door.
So they don't have to break down your door. So consider that, right? Like, they don't want to break down your door, but if you can't get up and you've got a locked door, that's the only way they're going to be able to get in if you don't have access to your home otherwise. And a lot of people have said, well, what about if I give my key to my neighbor? Well, your neighbor might not be available to give the key to the fireman. And again, that's a delay in services received. So the Knox box keeps them from banging through your door and leaving your home open to anybody else that can come by and get inside of it while you're at the hospital, right? So what if you do have to be hospitalized and now your home doesn't have a front door on it anymore? But it does help with getting your care sooner, right? So you don't have that delay. They know exactly where it is on your home. They know how to get in it. They get the key. They get in your house quickly, give you the care that you need, help you up on your feet if you're not needing advanced services. A lot of questions about it. How secure is it? The fire department is the only one that has access to the key to get into the Knox box. So it's like a skeleton key that is on the fire department truck. They have to punch in the last 5 digits of their social security number in order to access it. So it is time stamped. It is stamped with who accessed this key for this home, and it's all recorded. They go to the box, they open it, they get your key, they get in your house, they put it back, and then the key goes back into the truck. So they can't keep the key for malicious purposes or anything like that. It is all very secure. So if you have questions about it, you can get some more information through the Wake Forest Fire Department. The other thing that they want you guys to know is that these emergency pendants and devices that can help alert that you've had a fall are really helpful. Again, it's that time is of the essence, right? So if you have something on you and you don't have to try to crawl to the phone that you left over on your nightstand, time is of the essence. So try to get something that helps you to alert when you need some help. And then the other thing is having family and friend check-ins, right? So they really highly recommend this. If you have a family member or a friend that can call you at the same time every day and check in and say, hey, it's 10 a.m. I know you've gotten up, you've had your coffee, and you've had your breakfast by now. I'm calling in to just make sure you're good to go and your day is on a roll. If that person calls and you don't answer the phone and they know that you're supposed to be home having your coffee and your breakfast and getting your day on a roll, that's a good way to indicate something might be going on over here, and they could do a wellness check, right? They could come out to that home and see if everything's good. All right. So again, like I said, they are very committed. Yes?
Does the fire department install the Knox box?
I believe they have somebody do it. I'm not sure if the fire department themselves come out to do it, but I know that they have a connection with making that happen. So, yes. How big is the Knox box? Glenn was supposed to bring one out for me, but I think it's about this big.
And is it, what is it, metal or plastic?
Yes, they call it the Knox box because it's like Fort Knox. It is very sturdy materials. Can't really get into it any other way. Yes?
We just got a Knox box and an EMT came out, put it up. He put it in the piece of wood that's solid wood and the 4-inch screws.
Okay.
And then when they finished rescuing you, they put the key back in
Yes.
so that
It's ready for the next time.
Yeah. So Susan said she just had a Knox box installed on her home. An EMT came out to install it. They put it on a wood post on her home with 4-inch screws. And when they come out to do the rescue, they go to the box to get the key and they put your key back into the box when they leave. So it's there for the next time you might need them. And it's very heavy.
this is not just for the fire department, EMS, anybody?
Correct. I need to get more clarification on how that happens, but as I said, fire department is usually on the scene first, and I know they are the ones that have the access to the key. So I'm pretty sure that they get the Knox box and get into your home, start the assessment, and then the EMT arrives to do whatever they need to do if there's further need for services. And I believe they're right around $300. But again, putting a new door on your home is going to cost more than that. So the fire department and myself, we've gone out to several communities now. I think we've been to three communities. We have more that we're going to go out to in 2025. But it's been a really good journey, just trying to get this information out there. One of the things that they really would like for people to know is that a lot of the calls that they get are because people slip out of their bed. They get up onto the edge of their bed and they think they've got their bearings, and yet there they go. They're sliding off onto the floor. And we know from our previous education in this class that a fall is an unintentional event where you make your way down to the ground floor or lower level surface, right? So a slip off the edge of the bed is considered a fall. So they have these devices that you can get for your bed. It doesn't have to be a hospital bed or anything like that. It doesn't have to be anything medical. It can be just a regular bed, and it's called a bed cane. And it's a very sturdy support that usually has a lever that goes underneath of the mattress, so it keeps it in place. Or some of them have a clamp that will clamp to your bed frame. So that's an inexpensive way to try to help you just to support yourself and get your bearings before you get going, right? The other thing is a lot of us will, when we first get out of bed, there might be some blood pressure issues. We get a little lightheaded when we first get up. Or there's like circulation problems or just stiffness because we've been in bed for a while. So that cane can actually give you some added support to push yourself up, whereas a mattress is going to give underneath of your arms. It doesn't give you the leverage that you need. So something to consider. And I wanted to tell you one other thing. What was it? I'll have to look at my slides, but what's that?
Senior moment.
Senior moment, yes, I do have those. I am over 50 now, so I have those. I think that the other thing that I was going to say is that there are ways to practice getting on and off of the floor safely, and that's part of our learning lab today is that we are going to practice this. There's exercises that you can do just obviously to build the strength that you need so that you can help yourself back off of the floor. But the most important thing that I would say is if you do have a fall, you need to take time and assess yourself and make sure that you're safe to try to get up before you start getting up. So don't just say, oh, I can do this, I can get up off of the floor. Make sure you think about, does anything hurt? Is anything twisted the way it shouldn't be twisted? Does my head hurt? Do I feel any, liquid, blood, something like that? Make sure that you're safe to start trying to get off of the ground before you attempt to do it on your own. And don't be a tough guy. If you think that you got injured, make sure you call for assistance and have somebody with the medical profession assess you and see if you need to go in to get more testing. A lot of things that we can't see are happening on an inside after a fall, like internal bleeding and concussions and stuff like that. So be sure to take care of yourself and do the right thing. We are going to end our presentation and get the mats out. Does anybody have any other questions before we do that? Yes.
I had a fall, and my husband had a fall, and the EMTs, the fire department, told us repeatedly, do not hesitate to call us. We will come and help you get up off the floor, help your husband get off the floor. They actually want to do that, or they seem like they do. They don't. They're not annoyed by that in any way.
They're not annoyed by it in any way. I'm not saying that they are by all the numbers and statistics. All I'm saying is that it is a very large amount of the calls that they receive. And if they can prevent some of these falls, because they don't want you to have to fall. They want you to prevent falls. It's not that they don't want to come out and assist. They do. They will assist. But it is just, and the idea is that a lot of falls are preventable. And so they want to get the information into people's hands to say, hey, this is how you can prevent this. And this is, yes. So to your point, it is absolutely a great idea to call if you think you need help, if you think you need somebody to assess you. Don't hesitate to call the fire department just because they have a lot of calls going on. And they will tell you, some people will say, well, I waited because I know that you've come out here before and I didn't want to have to bother you. And they're not bothered. They're not bothered. This is part of their job, is to come out and assist with the fall recovery.
I also had a personal experience where I didn't think I was injured. And I had a very serious brain bleed.
Oof.
Just from, I landed on my butt and fell back against the nightstand.
Yeah.
And I got up, I unlocked the door, I sat in my chair and changed my clothes and waited
All
for
stuff you
them.
weren't supposed to do.
And my daughter came.
That was before this class.
Yeah, I called my daughter. Anyway, and I had a very serious brain bleed, and I was in the hospital for 5 days.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't think I was injured at all.
Like I said, they can be invisible injuries. We can't really see all of the things that happen in a fall. So be very cautious about, especially if you think you've hit your head or you think you've hit your head, make sure that you get seen by the ER or the EMS or somebody to assess whether or not you need to go in, for sure. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad you're here to tell the story. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Oops, somebody else's phone is going off. I will end this meeting and we're going to get into our learning lab.